Hello, my name is Matthias Kubert. I'd like to welcome you guys to my channel. Today we're going to talk about the Hulk tie-ins into the House of M crossover, which actually were pretty good. It came out way back in 2005, and Incredible Hulk issues 83 to 87, written by Peter David, illustrated by Jorge Lucas, and the last issue is actually illustrated by Kubert. And very, very briefly, for those who don't know about the House of M crossover, it's like another reality, or sort of, where Magneto took over. Humans are on top. Humans, not mutants, are on top. Humans have become like second-class citizens across the world, but mostly Magneto is like this benevolent dictator. Like, he would crack down on humans who he perceives as not being loyal to him, or rebel groups. He would be super heavy-handed, but in general, he lets them live their lives. But in Australia, where the story takes place, Exodus, who is like the head of state there, is really cracking down on the humans. So we have human refugees in the outback who have sort of invaded Aboriginal sacred land. So we have Bruce Banner. He's actually hanging out with the Aborigines. He's learning about their spirituality to learn to better cope with the Hulk. And so we have this whole situation with the refugees there. AIM are there actually to protect the humans at first, but they do have nefarious plans. Like, before I spoil the story, it's worth it. It does have a couple things that I didn't like, but in general, it's pretty good. One of their field operatives is the new Scorpion from back then, which Marvel was really pushing. I remember this character popping up all over the place. So, Exodus forces arrive, start taking down humans, capturing them, causing utter chaos. But Exodus forces have no idea that Bruce Banner is among these people. Onus the Untouchable has Bruce Banner thrown into a river so he can be eaten by crocodiles. We get the epic introduction of Hulk in the story. He transforms. He throws these crocodiles at the soldiers. It's a pretty epic moment. And when Exodus's men and Exodus discover this whole situation with the Hulk, like, we have Pyro telling Exodus, like, leave him alone. Don't go after these people. Hulk is not worth the trouble. But Exodus's ego is like, and he's insanely powerful. He's like, I can deal with the Hulk. Like, I've taken down hundreds of people like him. He's not going to be a problem, and he's going to really eat his words. And that's like sort of my big letdown with this story, is that Exodus is insanely powerful, so the battle between Hulk and Exodus would have been really, really cool, but the one we get is just like a wasted opportunity. So Bruce Banner is hanging out with this Aboriginal chieftain. Like, sorry, I don't know much about Aboriginal culture, so I don't want to be insensitive, stuff like that. So, but he's hanging out with this Aboriginal elder, and this elder's actually aware that the reality that they're in, the life that they're living, isn't the real reality. It's like sort of like a dream. And he's sort of trying to prepare Hulk for the life after this whole situation of the House of M. So that's actually a really cool detail about this story. So Hulk actually teams up with AIM. At first, Hulk didn't want to have anything to do with AIM, but he realizes that the situation is just too dire for the humans, that he has to take responsibility and take care of these people. AIM and Hulk actually shoot pamphlets over Sydney to establish that they want to negotiate peacefully with Exodus and his men, try to change the situation for normal humans so they're not persecuted anymore, but Exodus just wants nothing to do with this. And here we get that battle between Hulk and Exodus that I tell you, it's just a total letdown. He's killed or totally defeated off panel, so I thought that was just bad. So what happens in the story? Hulk becomes the head of state of Australia. So Hulk has to learn to do head of state things, like, and he's sort of not cool with this whole situation. So he has to deal like with immigrants and refugees arriving from across the world. Questions of lack of food, if he's going to have commerce and trade with countries being led by mutants. So this actually is puts Bruce Banner in a really different situation. And it's this whole situation actually is very taxing for Bruce. He's overwhelmed with the whole situation. He's trying to do it the best he can, but he's sort of not cool with it. While the second Scorpion, the new one, discovers this whole situation where people are being kidnapped across the city. So she and Hulk go to investigate and discover that actually AIM are building this cyborg army to battle against Magneto, have a human revolution, and Hulk is really pissed off about this because it's secret, and obviously this whole situation is super shady, and they had been kidnapping people. So Hulk goes crazy, starts attacking this whole installation. Hulk ends up battling this gigantic cyborg Frankenstein monster, and there's actually a really hilarious moment where Hulk uses the exterior shells of the Australian opera house to kill this monster cyborg, but he destroys the whole opera house, and Scorpion actually asks him, "Why did you destroy the whole place? You just used one of the shells to kill him." It's like, "No, I hate opera. That's why I destroyed it." So that's a pretty funny part. So at the end of this part of the story, Hulk is approached by Magneto and tells Hulk, it's like, "Okay, I'm going to leave you alone. Just don't cause any trouble for me, and I'll let you do your thing." So it's sort of funny. It's like Bruce Banner's like, "Just get away. Don't bother me. Leave Australia alone." But Magneto's okay. I don't want to fuck around with you, so he leaves him alone. And Bruce, and I can't remember this character. Actually, she's a sort of important part. She was like the evil mastermind, Monica Rapacini. She was like the one behind the whole plot of enslaving humans. And they had actually had a thing back in the university, so they both have history. They both wake up in this mansion of a famous Australian person, and the whole House of M has ended, but people are like waking up in different parts of the globe depending on what happened during that crossover. So the police try to take him down. Hulk escapes with Monica, and Hulk actually seeks out that Aboriginal elder or chief to learn about what the hell had actually gone on. So he's aware of the whole situation with the House of M, sort of fills Hulk in with the whole situation, invites Bruce Banner to live with the Aboriginal people. But what happens is it's sort of tragic. Scorpion, who's actually working with S.H.I.E.L.D. during this time, is commissioned to capture her mom that works for AIM, bring her in for S.H.I.E.L.D. So she poisons Bruce Banner, and this leads to a situation where Hulk totally flips out, tries to take Scorpion down, and ends up burning up a whole forest, ruining everything for the poor Aborigines, ruining their sacred land. So they have to go further into the woods, and so the poor Aboriginal elder who invited Bruce Banner to go live with them, like, ruined everything for his comrades. So I'm going to leave this video here. I hope you guys liked it. Give it a like or don't. I don't care.